For Tangley.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Air combat is the most fundamental and vital capability of a defence force. Without air superiority, Australia's land and sea forces will be exposed to enemy air attack if we go to war. The RAF will be unable to effectively project lethal force against enemy targets. We are planning to buy the Joint Strike Fighter, or F-35, to provide that capability. This capability will need to be effective through to around 2060. General Michael Hostage, Chief of the United States Air Force Air Combat Command, recently stated, "If I do not keep that F-22 fleet viable, the F-35 fleet, frankly, will be irrelevant." The F-35 is not built as an air superiority platform. It needs the F-22. The mission of Air Combat Command is to be the primary force provider of non-nuclear combat capability to America's warfighting commands. The loss of air superiority leaves our fighting men and women highly vulnerable, as we will not have the F-22. Lockmart defines the JSF as fifth generation, but it does not comply with what the market sees as fifth generation. Lockmart is quite happy to come to Australia and mislead, if not deceive, both Parliament and the population on multiple issues. They are desperate to generate sales and lock customers in, even though their project is in trouble. I started criticising the JSF in late 2005. Defence and Lockmart then said the JSF would be in operational service in Australia in 2012. At a cost of around $65 million per. The reality now is 2020 and $135 per. Optimistically, the Russians and the Chinese have F-22 competitors flying now, so any stealth advantage the JSF may have had is now negated. Post-2015, it will be a stealth-on-stealth, counter-stealth world. When the JSF enters service, it will already be well surpassed and overmatched, like buying sop with camels to fight the Battle of Britain, or an old Toyota Camry to race in Formula One. Wrong purpose, wrong era. Defence has been way too gullible, simply accepting Lockmart's assertions and assurances without properly conducting due diligence. I am unaware of any red team within Defence for the express purposes of looking to flaws and problems within the JSF designs and the JSF program. Critics who have been shown to be correct on cost, schedule, aero-propulsive performance and systems capabilities have been derided and ignored as not having access to classified data. What price that classified data when Defence officials have been proven wrong time and again? Technically, the United States Director of Operational Test and Evaluation, or DOT&E, determines not only whether the aircraft meets the spec it is intended to meet, and the F-35 doesn't in many areas, but also whether the spec is adequate for the aircraft to fulfil its operational purpose. The recent DOT&E reports are very troubling and make clear that the aircraft is unlikely to be fit for purpose. At the very least, we should defer any decision or contracts to purchase the JSF until such time the United States DOT&E testing proves the JSF fit for purpose. With an initial operational capability of 2020, we have the luxury of being able to wait until this determination has been made before committing to any purchase. In this environment, making any other decision would be rash, ill-thought-through and, frankly, irresponsible and reckless. The unqualified commitment to the JSF program by previous governments is nothing more than writing a blank cheque. How is it responsible or defensible that we ask others to tighten up, refusing corporate welfare for the car industry while at the same time providing corporate welfare to Lockmart? This protection or denial of the truth about the F-35's performance is born out of a fear to own up to a mistake. As a parliament, we're all too ready to say sorry for nearly everything except wasting taxpayers' money or endangering lives. As the Commission of Audit hands down its preliminary report, we should ask to see a greater cost-benefit analysis. And let me bring this debate to a conclusion with an Irish saying, if you buy what you don't need, you might have to sell what you do need.
Order. The honourable member's time has expired and I call the honourable member for Macon.